Hello everybody, welcome back to the shop for another 10 minutes Thunder Chief building action, baby. I've been going hard at it, people. I gotta get this ready to mow tomorrow, and it's gotta happen. It's gonna be all nighter. You guys ready to stay up with me tonight and hang out in the shop, watch me build a Thunder Chief mold? Okay, I got the plug back out of the basement. I had to do a little repair work to it. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a chunk right here that stuck to the mold. Just a little one, about the size of a quarter, $half. But I got that puttied in. This stuck in the mold. And I never did glue it back on, but I glued it back on, filled it, primed it, got it ready to go. I just got to sand it a little, wax it up while I'm waiting for that primer to cure out real good. Then I came over here to this edge. People, this edge was pretty rough. You know, this was actually the second half of my mold I laid up. You know, I could tell because my clay, when I do my clay, it kind of sinks in a little bit on the top one, so that makes it stick up a little bit on the top one. I guess it was actually the first one I laid up because it had a little ridge pretty much all the way around it. I sanded this thing flat, so flat and smooth. I used my dot coat to get rid of the dots. Them dots was worthless. Don't ever use the drill bit. Live and learn. But I used my dot coat, then I used my orbital sander. I started out with 120 paper, 120, and went over it, and I just sanded everything till there was no shiny spots left. I sanded it down in the low spots and took off the high spots and got that dude flat. Then I went over it with some 220 on the orbital, just to get some of that roughness off of it, you know, smooth it up. And then I block sanded it with my wet and dry paper, 600, and then I went over it with 1000. That dude is smooth. But I want these things to go together so tight, it'd be like Wes's butt cheeks when I was flying his GB. You should have seen Wes when I was putting the maiden on that GB. You couldn't have pulled a straight pin out of them butt cheeks. It was funny. But I got that all smooth. Alright, now this is raw epoxy again because I've been sanding on it. And see, to get that wax off of that, I sanded it off first, where I did my patching. Then I took some CA, I bondoed it, took some thin CA, put over the top of my bondo, and then primed it. That way it won't pull off in the mold again. You gotta seal that stuff off. You ain't got a lot of primer on it, man. Now we gotta make sure this edge here is waxed up, baby. This is raw epoxy, and that stuff will stick to it like nobody's business. But see, this is why another reason why I double face them parts in. You know, if I'd have glued them in these molds, everybody, I would not be able to do this. I would be stuck making parting planes and not have near this perfect edge I'm going to have. This is going to trim so nice. It'll be so easy to trim because it's so smooth. I clean up. It'll be a breeze because it was kind of a rough edge before. I just did not like these molds. I'm sorry, but whoever made them didn't do a very good job. Oh, you just live and learn. Make sure and get some wax on the edge of that lip. Live and learn. You know, that's where you gotta pay attention to your mistakes and learn from them. You know, Now we know. For all this stuff, people, I just get going. Right, wrong, indifferent, you know. I don't know. These molds would have pulled out a few fuselages, you know. They'd have been alright. Yeah, I could, you know, torque on them molds and straighten them out a little bit on them seams, but I just want to not set them over. And I don't have to worry about it. And I'm going to make up for the cost in the vacuum bagging material alone. You know, this really ain't costing a lot to do this. Just that cloth. And my buddy Long Island Bill bought a chunk of it. My buddy Paul Stelly bought a chunk of it. And so one other guy bought 10 yards. Then someone else called me and said they was going to buy 10 yards. But they haven't yet. I'm only going to need about 20 yards of it. I'll sure let the rest go. Have to keep my expenses down, because I got other places to spend money still. Man, I keep the economy going. I'm like a stimulant for the economy in Wichita. Associated Industries, anyway. Now up here's where I got some chips. Okay, I'm going to clay them up. If I don't, it'll just transfer to my other mold. But they'll be in reverse, which means there'll be lumps. I don't want to deal with no lumps. So all I got to do is put some clay in them little voids, and no big deal. Won't take but a minute to do it. This is just the most important thing right here. I'm going to get this edge waxed good. And I'll have part all on it too, but this will make these molds will trim so nice now, man, because they're so smooth. That edge wasn't real smooth before. But man, they'll trim nice, go together really good and tight. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can't wait. We're going to pull one out Monday. We're going to make the fuselage Monday. Okay. How much time we got left? Now, I especially like doing this on virgin epoxy. That's I just sanded all the wax, everything off of there. Okay, so it's virgin epoxy again. We're going to heat it up, not real hot. Just enough to impregnate that wax a little bit. You don't want to get it super hot. Just want to warm it up. This kind of does two things. It opens up the pores on the epoxy and turns that wax to liquid for just a second. You know?